Hello. Right, just a little update about an energy drink. I've been off my face all afternoon. Hey buddy, this one's been asleep. So today, we've had sort of two decisions. One is to get all this white, whatever it is, marbly stuff. We've dug it out of the ground. I don't know, there's a rumour, that it's something to do that happens naturally when you have lots of slate. But I don't know. I think Kate told me that. Two things we're going to try and do is one, this dip just here. I've had the digger in reaching over to here. We've decided there's a yew tree there, and we've decided to try and put a path down because here's it's a drop of about 6-7 meters down to what's still our land, just at the side of this track down here. So that's the boundary. So this little narrow strip here gets wider and wider as it goes along there, wider and wider and wider, all the way down that way. And at the moment it's covered in bluebells down there somewhere. So what we decided is, because this is such a steep drop looking straight down here, we can't do much about it. There's going to be, we could put steps in, but it wouldn't be any good for mountain biking or anything. So the plan is, behind that yew, there's the gradient is not quite acute. It's a little bit more lenient. So if I go through here and then drop down, we should just go behind that yew and to the left of that oak there. So we're going to put a path down there, which is going to go away from us and down, so across the slope to lessen the angle. But also, say if I can cut down already from here, straight across, maybe down there, then I'll just lessen that incline that's going to be over there. And that'll get us down to the bottom. So we can put a footpath in that way through the middle of the woods. That's one of the low paths. Then there's obviously the middle one I've been working on, which is the road at the moment. And then there'll be another one path coming up this way, and then one going off that way into the main bit of woods. Right, so that's what we started doing. And then we have some trees turning up tomorrow. I've got 3 cherries that I want to plant, and I think Kate's got a few. I've got 3 different types of cherry trees that I want to plant here because they get a lot of sun here, especially in the middle of the day. So I want to plant cherry trees along this edge somewhere here. So similar to what we've done before, we've taken these massive great lumps and just flattened it off. As you can see, I've dug it out, moved it across. The next step is to bring it across and just balance it, and then, which I haven't done yet, and then rake it all and shape it. So push it down with a digger to sort of compress it, and then use a rake to actually give it and tidy it, which is what we're going to do eventually. Right, the way up and down. I should have done it the other day, but we've had too much else to do. These birds everywhere. They're so excited. Look at them. They're just waking up now because it's been hot today. So, landscaping. That's what's been on the cards for today. So look at that. Straight through there. I want to go straight through there. This bit we're not sure what to do with it. We could just take it and make this edge here, currently where all the timber's stored, make this border here wider, like this. And then we could plant something here. Or we actually quite like the idea of using this as like a turning space. So this I will probably take and try and push down over there a little bit without damaging any trees. The rest of this we don't know. We'll leave it there. The cats go up there. They seem to like it because it's quite high. So we called it like Poppy's Pile, I think it was called. But we have another plan for that, because over here we want to, when Kate's finished this over here, I'll show you that in a sec. Kate wants to go up here, and up there. There's like a ledge there, and make her eagle's nest. So that's where we think the cats would like to go, because we've seen them. They've started trying to climb up some of this because of the little birds that hide in the hedges. So this is going to be our next sort of Poppy's little pile, which at the moment is that. So lots of ideas as usual coming together. One very quick thing over here. We're about to, look at this. It's been fantastic today. Got rain all week, so Kate's been doing lots of planting. and shaping of the flower border. So obviously this wasn't here before, but look, now we have a flower border. Look. And it's all actually doing really well. Got all the poppy seeds there. Millions of poppies all the way along, so everything looks really healthy. Kate and her mum have done this, but it's happening. So she's been working on, she's in there. This in the sun, in the full sun today. So I started putting some of these stones down. These are all actually bedded in now, so these won't move. They're fixed in place, which is really nice. And it's all random. We're going to cover the whole lot, but we've realised that that's really hard work. I sat in it doing this bit and I felt like a kid in a sandpit. It was actually really good fun. This was really good fun. This was really good fun. This was horrible because unfortunately we put lots of big stones underneath it, so nothing quite beds in, but we'll get there. So it's all going to end up looking like this bit, and then so this is practicing doing a thing. See the little, like we did this before, so it looks like the end. This will all grow and they'll spread. Oh, we bought some amazing plants. I wish I could show you a picture of them. They're kind of like that sort of colour, but if they take, they have big blankets of purples and oranges. Amazing. Anyway, I did a bit of this earlier on before doing the digging. Kate's been here all day sifting all this stuff out, just filtering out all the rubbish and making it something a little bit more hospitable. See this? That's no good. Oh, that one's in. Yep, there we go. I'll just stand on that one. So that's going to be the plan. I don't know what you call this, but it's going to be, everything's just going to be bedded in, all of these stones. For me, it's essentially a massive soak away. So we can walk on it after it's been raining and it's not saturated, which is what happens here. When it rains, ignore this hedge, that's another plan for this week. This is just soggy as anything. It does run off, of course, because right here, on the other side of the hedge, is about another 6 metre drop down to the workshop. We can see down here where we've cut away the side of the hill. We can see it's not solid like this. It's more like that stuff. So it's loose. It looks like infill. And if I go down there now, it's probably damp. So we can see that all of the moisture that gathers up here eventually goes this way. There were frogs living down here. So through spring and summer, some real considered sort of thoughts about what to do about drainage down here, because what I don't want is this to become I don't want it to hold water. So clearly, look, we've put in some simple drainage here and that way. This is naturally going to drain, and it's going to go down through all of the rock, stone, whatever you want to call this. So it's not solid. It's more like this stuff underneath here. But when it gets down there, I want to control where the water goes. Whether or not we take it out and eject it onto the road, I don't know. I could also just dig a massive hole here, fill it with some of these big stones, and make like a massive soak away. Don't know, because I want to put a lean-to here, so I can. So I've got all of the corrugated sheets over there. I've got 12, and they're 2 meters by about 1. So that would give me 2 meters out by 6 meters roughly, which is enough to put the trailers underneath. Maybe if I could be bothered to get the other vehicles and just drive it and park it underneath, so I don't always have to put them back in the workshop. And the paint has turned up for the workshop, so next weekend it's expected to be about 20 degrees, I think, Saturday and Sunday. And I was just doing a calculation down here for the square meterage. There's some white lines painted on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meters. So the workshop's roughly about 7 meters by, I think it's 9 or 10. something like that. We've obviously got 4 sides to do, and then we've got the roof to do. We don't know how we're going to paint the roof yet, but I'm working on it. There's so many things to talk about. I've just ordered, it's called like a mortar sprayer. It's like a bucket that connects onto the compressor, and you put mortar, so like a cement mix into it, a very liquidy one, and you put it into the bucket, and it basically just spits mortar out. It sprays cement. So down here where I've dug away, and it's got a very sheer edge, but it naturally crumbles because it's all this infill stuff. I thought, well, I know what I might do, just to stop it from crumbling away. I might actually just spray it with a very light cement mix. So nearly bought a cement mixer today. I think it's inevitable. I keep avoiding it, but I think I should order it. They don't cost a lot. I wasn't going to buy crap one for 150 quid because I've got to put this stuff here. I need to put it in here. But rather than use a lot of this not very expensive, it costs about 20 quid, I think, for each one of these. Rather than just waste it by filling up this gap, I thought, well, let's just get a cement mixer, or let's get a very dry mix of sand and cement. Let's put some in there, so we're not wasting the expensive stuff. So, you know, might need a cement mixer. So anyway, that's in the week. When it rains, what I'm going to do is use this claw here, and there's another one somewhere, and I'm going to claw this. Remember this stuff? This is obviously, it should be mud, but it's got this overfill from when they did the jointing. So I need to scratch all of this up here. I need to get rid of the rubbish. We then need to filter out some topsoil. And we've got some grass seed which is around the corner, and we need to make a mix that I can basically lay down here. So scratch it out, put a mix of soil and grass seed down all the way around this edge. Ignore these things, they're all going, all of this stuff's going, apart from the lanterns. These have got cheap LED lights in, and they are fantastic. They are really, really cool. Anyway, all this other stuff is going, it's not going to be here. Ultimately we'll end up with just our umbrella here. It's got a 4-meter umbrella that reaches over the seating area. Again, that's probably why I want the cement mixer, because then I can put a pad in here, just put a square pad in, and then fix the umbrella onto that pad so it doesn't fall over. So I think I'm going to need a cement mixer. I could probably go and borrow one, to be honest, from a neighbour, but I just think for that sort of stuff, maybe I should have one anyway, because I can use it when we do some building around the corner, which is a whole nother discussion in the main courtyard. We started to have other thoughts about that, which is good because we're not rushing into it and making mistakes. So we've not ordered the buildings to go around here. Obviously the shed was that's just a gardening one. That's I nearly finished that as well. I did a few more bits to it a couple of days ago. Yesterday, in fact. That's just a gardening one. So we were going to put 2 other buildings in here, and then one long building against here. And I never really liked this view of the road here. So I'm really pleased about. We're going to build some sort of wall out of the marbly stuff here. We're going to plant, obviously, exactly where the digger is at the moment. And then to have this path, if I can, that goes through and down. Be really pleased if we pull that off. Hello, buddy. You all right? He's very needy today. Right, so we didn't order the buildings. We've held fire. And there is a huge part of me which is starting to think that whenever you spend money on a shed, it's dead money. So that costs, I don't know, £2,000, I think. You never get it back again. It's just pointless. If you to spend 10,000 on like a summer house there, 10 grand there, and I don't know, 7 grand on a long shed, essentially, like a bigger version of that. Oh, what's that? Yeah, 30 grand or something with some concrete bases, and the electrics I can do myself. But you won't get it back. So starting to think at the moment, maybe we should wait a couple of years and actually then either, well, we've got some ideas. I don't want to talk about it really. We've got some ideas about to do it under permitted development, or alternatively, we could actually just go for planning permission. And whatever we do, we've got a septic tank here. So there's a big issue here in Wales at the moment with new builds. They won't let you put a septic tank in And what happens is you go to the toilet, the solids settle to the bottom, the liquids basically run off and they seep out slowly. They go kind of that way as far as we know. You never smell anything, but it goes. But what it does is it introduces nitrogen, I think it is, into the water table. Now, everyone does it here because there's no main sewerage. Now down there is one of the rivers which links down to another big river over that way. And so what happens is the fluids that eventually make it down that way are adding, I think it's nitrogen, into the waterways. And they're very precious about it. So what they basically said is they're not approving any more septic tanks. If you're going to put a septic tank in now or replace it, you have to put in a water filtration system, which is like a septic tank kind of thing. It's a 3-stage like filtering. It costs more money, so no surprise no one wants to do it. What did I learn the other day? What was that thing? Oh yeah, this is a weird one. In Wales, if you build a new house, it must have a fire suppression system, i.e. sprinklers. So if you have a fire inside the house, sprinklers essentially spray and put the fire out. Every new place has to have it in. I've never heard anything like it. Apparently we're like 1 or 2 places in the world that basically just say yes. I have no idea why. It's bloody Wales. People always say it rains here most of the time. Well, apart from when it's like this. But how crazy is that? Someone said it and I thought, yeah, he's joking because it's Wales. It rains all the time. Sort of. And if you go and look it up, apparently it's true. New builds have to have sprinkler systems. Who knew that, eh? Did you know? Did you know that? No? Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. I've been talking for too long. It's only supposed to be 2 minutes and it's turned into 16 minutes of me waffling on about what we've done. Oh yeah, and my little knackered dumper truck had a little friend, which is even more knackered. And they're tiny. I thought this was a 1-ton one, but clearly that's smaller. And I think that's probably 1 ton. So my one's actually probably 2 ton. So now I'm thinking I might actually get this one working properly. Especially when I looked at this one, I thought, bloody hell, mine's not this bad. I mean, for one thing, my engine isn't in pieces in a bucket. You know, I can see straight into the cylinder. I might use that though. Quite like that. That's robust. Yeah. Quite like that. And I'm after this linkage here. This is actually what I'm really after. All this stuff. This is accelerator, essentially. And that's what's a little bit tricky on that one. And the other problem with mine is it hasn't got any brakes. You know, and there's a hill, and there's a hill. So, a bit tricky. No brakes at all. There'll just be a bit of metal sticking out there, look. And there's nothing inside those front wheels. But this one actually has got something in there. So what I'm hoping is I might be able to actually take out some of this linkage, possibly. Sounds like a challenge, doesn't it? Oh, and the other thing this has got, which I don't know how I'm going to do this one's actually got a working gearbox. And actually, really quite surprised how like functional it is. It properly like notches. That would be third. That's second. That's first. Yeah, that's first. Up there. Back, cross, up. That's second. Third. The reverse is down there. Look at that. It's got 4 gears. Oh, put a cover on it. Anyway, poor little thing. Probably going to have to use it as parts. Decent gearbox, eh? Imagine that. I'm really hoping it's the same because they've got the same engine, strangely. Hello, Luna. Hiya. Yeah, it does. It looks very, very similar, that engine, that gearbox. Except I've got a gear knob. But this one, Jesus. Yeah, I can't. This one doesn't really go into like second or third. So, what's interesting is that, you know, it's knackered really, this thing. But I've bought this one and it's made me realise that actually mine's not that bad. This one's knackered. So gearbox I might actually try and get off. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing. I've never taken a gearbox off one of these. And what am I talking about? I've never taken a gearbox off of anything. So what's that? What's that linkage there? Oh, it's a clutch. Oh, okay. I don't know. I don't even know if it's possible. The gearbox isn't actually attached. Look, there's no bolts on it. No idea. Fascinating, isn't it? So that's the plan. If I can get the gearbox off this one, and if I can put it on that one, if I can take the brakes off this one, try and put them on there, then I'll bring this one back to life, which would be really, really nice. Although my neighbour's actually offered me his, to be honest. But oh my gosh, right? Seriously, Monster bloody energy drinks. Make you talk. I'm knackered though. Right, see you later, taters.